Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? Bueno, hoy vamos a hablar un poquito de Let's talk about Miami. Let's talk about Miami. Miami is one of those cities that is very, very special. Right now, I'm in Brickell Avenue, one of my favorite streets, one of the first streets I went by when I first moved to Miami. Somebody was nice enough to take me here, and I was like, wow, I love this. I love what they have done with this place, all right? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. Maybe you don't know me at all. Maybe you know me a little bit. But we'll talk about it. So I was born and raised in Cuba. I'm a Cuban man. And because of the politics and all the situations right now, everybody is very aware of what's going on in Cuba, right? So because of all that stuff, my father decided to become a journalist. And for that reason, he paid the price. You know, he was against the government, and the government punished him. The international opinion, international amnesty, and some of those nice organizations helped us get out of Cuba. We went to Spain, spent a couple years in Spain. So immediately my life changed. It was like really a big change. I did not expect it. It was all a surprise. Fast forward, we were able to come to the United States also as refugees. We came here. We were brought to Miami. From Miami, we went to Oregon. And after a few years in Oregon, I'll tell you more about it later, but after a few years in Oregon, I decided to return to Miami. I think the weather did it for me. But there was more about Miami than just the weather. The first time that I came to Miami and I landed in the airport, the police escorted us. They helped us, you know, just through the whole process of being new in the city. They were very nice. They put us in a hotel. All this you can look it up online. You know, we're part of this help system that the United States has for refugees. And when I first came and I saw Miami from the airport to the hotel, I was very impressed. I was like, wow, this is so different. This is so beautiful. And I saw a Cuban flag. I'm not nationalist, but we gotta talk about Cuba, right? And I saw the Cuban flag in a nice Dodge Charger, and I was like, wow, I felt so proud. Whoever this person is makes me feel proud, right? I was happy for that person that had a brand new car at the time. That was probably 2014, and sorry, 2012. And at the time, you know, it just for me was like, wow, this person can have a car that appears on the movies. When I returned to Miami, I did it twice. I actually drove across the United States a couple times, just exploring, you know, trying to get the hang of what was all about. But every time I came to Miami, I felt something different about Miami. Miami was a place where all the cars look good. You know, fast forward, if you look around, all the cars look good. People take care of themselves. Miami is a place that I appreciate for its speed. Everybody's going somewhere, right? Everybody knows exactly where they're going, and traffic is very. I love the way people drive in Miami. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to sound like that guy that is positive because everybody's negative. It's like, no, I actually enjoy Miami traffic. I enjoy the speed that people think here. Nobody's really breaking the rules right now. Everybody's under the speed limit, but the energy of it, I love it. Same in the highway. I feel like the highway is, you know, it can be dangerous if you're not paying attention, but also everybody respects if you are going somewhere. People don't mind, you know, they don't get upset. They understand that everybody is doing their thing, and that I enjoy a lot about Miami. So Miami is made out of, let's say, a big mix, right? People don't really mix that much in Miami. People from other cultures don't really mix that much. We're all kind of separated, right? Will you say that, you know, Cubans stay with the Cubans? Cubans are second generation. They're more of Americans, and they can, you know, travel a little more, better income, better everything. So basically, Miami is one of those places where people come, they try to figure out what to do, how to do it, and they end up just making it. Miami is a place that allows you to make it. All these buildings are kind of new. All this that you can see here. When I first moved here, none of this business, not like most of this business, were not here. And the reality is, like, can you afford these buildings? Can you live in Miami? Can you afford these buildings? And the answer is yes. If you think about it, if you work hard, if you hang out with the right people, the whole party scene, it's like, yeah, go party, go party, go do what you have to do. If the partying is affecting you the next day and you have no energy, then that's on you. That's not the party. The party is gonna keep going. Miami is a place where people make money off of the nightclubs. So don't ever blame the party night, the nightlife on anybody. Like, it's on you. You decide how much you're gonna be somewhere. So there's options. There are the options of going out and hanging out at night and doing whatever you need to do, right? You can be single, you can be married, whatever you want to do. So Miami has it. That's what I like. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you about Miami is the food. Everybody complains about the food, right? But we have to be honest. If people complain about the food, that means that they're not exposed to a lot of different foods, right? Like, if you, for example, Cuban people, I am Cuban, right? And Cuban people has a hard time eating all the types of food. Indian food, Japanese food. Some of them, they don't even know what it is. And that is on them, right? So in Miami, if you can find a food that is different to you and you don't like it, that's on you. Because that culture is doing themselves, and they try to do it themselves as good as possible, right? It's a business that is trying to survive. So there's a Mexican place down the street from here that I love. There's not a lot of Mexicans here, but it's one of those places that they're Mexican and they try to cook the Mexican way. If you're Cuban, if you're Venezuelan, if you're from whatever, and you don't like their food, it's not on them, it's on you that you're not exposed to those flavors. So the whole point of doing this, the reason why I'm doing these videos, is because I have been in Miami for a while. And I know Miami so well right now. Like, look, my motorcycle has 23,000 miles. 20 of those 23 are here in Miami. Like, literally, I have been in Miami going around 20,000 miles. So just do the math, It's not a big city, really. That's not a lot. There's not far distances you have to go. Everything is within 20 minutes. So I have been going 20 minutes for 20,000 miles. And I like it. I still like it. I still don't see myself moving out of Miami. There are business opportunities in other cities. Everything is cheaper in other cities, and I will take advantage of that. But I think I like my base here in Miami. First of all, the weather is amazing. The weather is something that you cannot beat. This, what you see right now, is what you're gonna see the rest of the year. And it's stunning. It's stunning. We have this new construction here, this bridge behind me. You can see it. You can see bad news. You can see people saying, oh, the bridge is delayed. Don't worry about that. The bridge is gonna finish whenever it has to finish, and it's gonna be gorgeous. And it's gonna be like the Sydney Tower, the Sydney Opera House in Australia. It's one of those iconic pieces that is gonna put this area visually somewhere in the map. So Miami offers you so many different things. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. There was one time when I first moved here, maybe my energy that day was not great, and I told this friend of mine, hey man, I don't like Miami. I don't know, Miami's not a good place to raise the kids. And he was like, what are you talking about? And just to give you some perspective, he is a doctor and he has a good pay. He makes good money, definitely better than me at the time, and probably better than me today. However, good guy, great guy. And he told me, man, don't think like that. Don't say that. I live in a house with a pool. My kids get to go out and have fun every single day, every single afternoon. They can jump in the pool. They're not cold, they're not sick, they're not freezing. So Miami is a great place, and make sure you find the right people to hang out with. So who is the right people in Miami, right? Everybody thinks like, oh my gosh, how to find, if you're new in Miami, how to find good people in Miami. First of all, you gotta be a good people yourself. You cannot find anybody good if you're not good, you know? Your intentions are gonna set the tone of who you're gonna find. The way you move, the way you see the city, the way you see yourself. All right, so first of all, you have to be yourself. You know exactly who you want to be, how you want to interact with people. You need to know who you are. Once you figure that out and you know exactly what you want, you can go ahead and put yourself out in the world. The world is gonna offer you different type of people. Now, here are the type of people that I can see in Miami. Number one, let's start with the big giant community in Miami, and those are gonna be the most important ones for me. Why? Because I think they're the most wealthy, the wealthiest, and I will have to debate between the Cubans and the Jews, and then they're Cuban Jews, right? But let's talk about them separately, right? The Cubans, let's put them in Little Havana, and that area, right? Little Havana, Hialeah. Let's talk about those Cubans, right? Now, the Jews and the Cuban Jews that live in this side of Miami, which is Miami Beach. These people is very well connected. These people live in the most beautiful areas of Miami, the bigger houses. All the houses have waterfront. It's just gorgeous, right? It's a gorgeous living here in Miami. And whatever you think about the Jews, whatever you wanna add to the fact that they're Jews, is on you too, right? For me, Jews means they're a community, they're together, they raise their kids together, their kids go to a park together with the parents. So basically they're in constant sort of community mode. They refer to each other, they do business with each other, and that I appreciate so much. They really, I mean, they care about politics and they care about the rest of the United States because they do business over there. But the reality is that here in Miami, they're a very strong, tight community, and that I love. So the group of people, on the type of people that I will recommend you to find and to hang out with, it would be Jews. The Jews are great in Miami. Now, you have to understand that the Jews, you know, might want to do business with you, might not want to do business with you, right? So that is a whole different story that you will have to think about, and what you're offering to them and what they can offer to you, right? So from the Jews, let's say that we jump to immigrants. Miami, now less, because, you know, with Trump, everything is a little tougher. But for the longest time, Miami's been full of immigrants, completely full. People from Venezuela, people from Colombia, people from Argentina. Now, the ratio, I would say, in Miami between women and men, thinking about these immigrants, the women are way more in Miami, right? Because it's just easier for them to travel, they're prettier, it's easier for them to find money. As a man, it's not that easy to find money to go to Miami and spend 3 months on a visa, right? We agree on that. Or families that have money. But let's talk about the women. Let's talk about that big group of immigrants that most of them are women and are in Miami. A lot of these people come here, and for the longest time, and this is the people that make Miami today, even though Trump is kind of new in the picture, the people that have been in Miami for a long time and the people that have built Miami have done this. They come with a visa for 3 months, they overstay their visa, they figure out a way to get papers, they'll get married, they'll do whatever they have to do, right? And at some point they become legals, right? Legals means that they can work, they can build, they can own a house, they can do everything. And this has been the strategy for a long time. Is it about a strategy? It's not about a strategy. I think it's great. If it was allowed, it's good. And if you don't have criminal records and you're not a bad person, you should be able to figure it out, you know? Get married with somebody, figure it out. So the legality of it becomes a secondary thing as soon as you figure it out, right? There are many different ways. Now, those people, in the beginning, what they offer to you, what this group of immigrants offer to you, is not what is Miami. They don't know. So they're trying to, they're giving you, if you come from, let's say, Boston, they're giving you what they think is Miami, but they're not from Miami. They don't know Miami. They don't know the energies of the place. They think Miami is just cocaine and parties and all that. And that is a very small, shallow percentage of Miami. I would say that most of Miami is people who actually is very smart, has really good jobs. Most of the time they work online, which is genius. If you figure out how to work online and make $150,000, you're a fucking genius, right? So basically that's what I think about Miami. A lot of people, you know, the average salary, the average income in Brickell is $120,000 plus. And all these people live in a nice apartment with a nice view, and they go out, you know, maybe like one time every once in a while. Like, this really not that much. Now, the tourists that overstay, they build themselves this reputation of Miami, and they offer to other people this reputation of Miami that might not be Miami. So now we are entering, this is the Standard. It's a nice place. I like it. A very interesting crowd there. Very mixed, very young. I would say wealthy. Look at these buildings. I mean, there's wealth in here. Look at this one. I like it. It's very private. You know, you got your full attention, concierge, everything. So we're crossing. They just finished a new bridge right here. Look at those brand new buildings. That's just stuff that I like.